Good morning, everyone. Afternoon, if you're watching this later on. We are pre-recording this webinar, as I mentioned in our last email. This time of year is just gets really wild, and we never know what's coming around the corner next. So we figured it'd just be easier just to record this because it's pretty short in total. Anyways, we are counting down the days here. It is June 1st while we're recording this, and we couldn't be more excited to welcome you guys here. We just wrapped up our spring fellowship with the local OA Lodge here with Wahisa Lodge, where we got all of our tents set up, all of our cots out, and camp is starting to look more and more like camp every day now. So we're very excited to have you guys come in and fill this place up. So we are only 15 days, 14 days away from week one. We are just like 10 days away from welcoming our Cub Scouts in first. We are 3 days away from seeing our staff. So we're very excited to get this thing rocking and rolling so we can stop talking to the same 12 people every day, start seeing a few more. But anyways, just to go ahead and hop in things, first thing I wanted to mention was our arrival time, making sure that we have signed up for that. That email went out a few days ago. A lot of troops have already hopped on it. If you have not done that, please do so. At the earliest convenience, it'll be sent out in the email where this link has been sent out as well. All you need to do is select the arrival time. If you have some complication, please let us know and we can help you with that. Those of you that are coming in on Saturday or arriving by train, whether that's Saturday, Sunday, whatever it may be, your arrival time will be for those coming in Saturday directly at 1 p.m. But those of you that arrive by train, that'll start as soon as that you get to camp. So no need to really sign up for an arrival time. So if you haven't done that, please do so at your earliest convenience. The other thing I will mention is your registration. Most folks have really solidified your registration at this point. However, there's a few units that are lacking their adults in the system, and we really need that information, especially for our upcoming weeks, so we can make sure that we have everything we need to be prepared for when you guys arrive. So please make sure that you have all of your adults added in and ready to go. Last thing I'll mention before we pass the ball around is our final payments. I appreciate everybody that's been sending in checks to our council office. It's helped us a great deal having those come in. If you would like to bring a check with you as your final payment, you can do that. Bring it with you to check in, or just give it to us Monday morning, whatever it may be. But we need to make sure we have a plan to have our final balance paid within the first couple hours of being here at camp or ahead of time. Now, there's always a chance that you could have more of a balance as the week goes on. So we will pass out invoices towards the end of the week. Some of you may maybe do some money. Some of you may owe zero. Some of you may owe a little bit more from different signups, classes, things of that nature, where there could have been a fee added on as we change sessions, or somebody signed up for CPR, whatever it may be. So we'll make sure to keep you in the loop on that. But got the crew with us today, Wesley Warden, Ash Stimke, and Josh Bodenheimer. So at this point, I'm going to pass the ball over to Wesley Warden to talk about how our our parents back home, grandparents, cousins, whatever it may be, can stay in touch with our scouts here at camp. So just want to make sure that everybody is well versed in this and can share this with their family. So Wesley, talk to us about Send a Scout a Message.
Absolutely. Thank you, Hunter. Glad to see everybody this morning, or at least a recorded version. So one of the key ways that parents can communicate with their kids back home is through our Send a Scout a Message program. That is a Google form that is on our website. And whenever you enter your message in there, you make sure to put your scout, their troop name, and then we deliver those typically at lunch every day. So whenever you submit them, it'll let us know, and we'll print off all of the ones at meal times. And like I said, usually lunch is whenever we distribute those. So if you want to, wish your scout a happy birthday, or keep on going, or let them know how things are going back at home, that Send a Scout a Message feature is a good key way to do that.
How do we find that on the website, Wesley?
Sorry, do what?
Sorry, do we want to show them on the website where to find that, or is it live currently?
Yeah. Here, Ash is going to share his screen.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. In case anybody was wondering, yes, we are all in the same building, very close to one another. So, all right, there's the screen. There it is, right there on the home screen there. Perfect. So just click on that, and you'll be ready to rock and roll. Take you to a Google form, and we will print these things off. All right. Thank you, Wesley. Anything else? You good?
I think I'm good.
Excellent. All right, I'm going to pass the ball over to Ash Stemke now to discuss prerequisite uploads to making sure that just one of those things that we can check off before you guys get here. So, Ash, take it away.
Absolutely. Thank you, Hunter. So I'm going to talk a bit about our prerequisite situation with a lot of our merit badges that have requirements that are not completed at camp. I know we've spoken a little bit about these in the past, but from our main webpage, if you go to this thing here where it says session list and prerequisites, it'll show you a list of every merit badge and other session that we have here at Raven Knob and what requirements, if any, are not completed at camp. Some of these are things that need to be done before camp, but a lot of these are things that can be done at any point after camp as well. Excuse me. Anyway, so as far as what goes on here, a lot of these requirements are things that we can't do at camp for one reason or another, whether it's raising a reptile for an extended period of time or things like that. But as far as how to report to us that your scouts have completed these, the way we would prefer you do this is actually fill out a form and submit it to us, to our admin staff, so that they can keep track of that and have that included in your unit's advancement report at the end of the week. So this here is a list of what the requirements are that need to be done, which of course they're welcome to do after camp as well. But a lot of these, they can get it complete at the end of the week if they do them before coming to camp. So once the scouts, whatever scouts you have that have completed the requirements before the week of camp, we ask that you submit those prerequisites to our administration staff. The easiest way to do that is to do it right here online by clicking Submit Prerequisites. It'll bring you to this page right here that'll show you what to do. Notably, there's a spreadsheet right here. This spreadsheet is available in Google Sheets. So if we open it over here in a new tab, sure, we'll make a copy. And it'll look just like this, and I'll show you kind of what that has there. So it here shows enter the scout's name, which merit badge it is, and what the requirements are. So as some examples, our scout here, Rowdy Raven, has done a couple of things, a couple of requirements for camping and a couple of requirements for electricity. So if you wanted to fill this in for your scouts, you could go in here and say, Susie Scout here has completed some requirements for, and there's a drop down here where you can change which badge. So maybe Susie did a couple of the prerequisites for orienteering, and then you would just type in what requirements those are. So she did 8 and 9B or whatever it might be, and those would be the requirements right there. And once you have that sheet, the instructions say here that once it's filled out, then you download the file as an Excel file. That's how to do it. And then you just submit that Excel file to us. Our admin staff will then be able to use that spreadsheet and put it into sort of our master spreadsheet where we keep track of all that information and include those requirements on your scouts advancement reports at the end of the week. If you have any questions about that, feel free to email us at registration@ravenknob.com. Your leaders can also stop by our administration building when you all are here for the week, and we can help you work out on how to do that. But it just asks you to basically include the unit council and email which week of camp, and then include the spreadsheet file for that. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, but it should be a relatively easy process. And that way we can keep track of all the paperwork and have a record of what things you're authorizing that they have completed before camp.
Sounds good, Ash. I appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing your screen. So just a few more details that we're going to go over. Like I said, this is a fairly quick webinar all in all. So one thing I do want to mention is the train. Those of you arriving on the train, I've just about got everybody's details from what I need, so that way I can get the email out to you all what to expect. However, in the last webinar, we did go over what that information is as far as the pickup times, the stops on the way, all of that kind of stuff, whether you're getting picked up at High Point or in Raleigh. So if you want to look back at that, it was towards the beginning of the last webinar that we had in May. Last thing I want to touch on here is that 1 week out from your arrival to camp, I send out a final reminders email with just some good details for you all, and I thought it would be a good practice just to run through that so nothing catches you really off guard. It should be information that's between the Leader's Guide and the Program Guide. that should be able to help you with this, but I definitely want to make sure that this information is in front of you. The required documents, we've talked about that pretty much on every webinar. If you're looking back for it, you can find Ash talking about it on about every webinar for the past several years. But making sure you've got your BSA medical forms with A, B, and C completed, making sure that you have your CRK outdoor release form ready to turn in. If you are planning to go through health pre-checks, make sure that we have your health forms here at camp. All right. We like those to be sent via USPS, UPS, FedEx, whatever it may be. Please do not email or fax those to us. But those need to be here on site at least 1 week prior. Shout out to a lot of units that have turned these in. I've been surprised how far into the summer some of them have already turned them in. So shout out to you all. But please make sure those get here at least 1 week prior. As I mentioned before, check-in times. That arrival time that we sent you, that is the time that we expect you to arrive at the front gate, not the time that we want to see you at the campsite. So please try to help us with that. And we want to see the whole unit. So if just 1 or 2 people are rolling in a little bit early, that is not when we're going to send the troop guide to the campsite. We want the troop guide to go to the campsite when the whole unit's there, so we can go ahead and begin that check-in process. Please note that with that check-in process, once that troop guide gets there, our plan is to get you out of the campsite and to get you moving through the necessary steps. The time to set up your campsite, pick out which tent or Adirondack is yours is at a later time. But our main progress is getting you through our administration check-in, through your health checks, to the waterfront, photos, and getting you around camp to make sure that we're taking care of all the needs up front. So your time to settle in is there once that process is done, and after dinner and so forth. All right. Again, those units, and some of you are traveling long distances and need to get here a little early. If you plan to arrive on Saturday, we do need to know that information. We have a weekend commissioner that their job is to solely make sure that those folks coming on Saturday, you have what you need. And so that individual named Sean Fullerton, great guy, actually a great Texan at that. So one of our Texas staff members, but a great guy, but he will be with you on Saturdays to just make sure you're settled in. So if you're going to arrive that Saturday, please send us an email with that estimated time of arrival, so that way we can make sure that you're squared away. Those of you that are coming in early, you will get a text from like an automated service, if you will, that says, "Hey, this is Camp Raven Knob. Just keep us up to date." So you can text it back and we can keep track of it, but don't call it, don't text it, all the time, because there's not really people monitoring it, except for that Saturday when we're just trying to make sure we're getting you to camp and getting you here. One thing to mention, those scouts and scouters that are participating in the Rampage and Cripple Creek program, once you get to camp and we get that check-in process started, we will then have them relocate to another part of camp. So our Rampage and Cripple Creek participants will report to the Scoutcraft area with their gear, and they will need to be there by 4:30 p.m. Okay, this is pretty crucial to making sure that we're getting things going, as they will eat dinner early and then hit the road. Mountain Man or Cripple Creek participants are not going that far. They're just kind of going out the valley, but they've got a lot to do to get settled in out there. And then our Rampage participants will pile up in the van and hit the trail. All right. So just making sure that we are prepared for that. Again, all those participants will need to be at the Scoutcraft area by 4:30 p.m. So should something go wrong, it's not a big deal. We can move people around as needed. If somebody were to show up late, something where a bump happens in the road on your way here, we will get folks where they need to be. Do not panic about it. We'll mention one more time the ATV program. Please make sure all your participants in the ATV program have completed their required online course prior to camp. Doing that at camp is not fun, and it does take several hours to complete. I've seen a lot of scouts have to hang out by the program center till late at night trying to knock that out ahead of time. Additionally, there is the hold harmless agreement that goes along with that. And our final reminders emails, there are hyperlinks to those. Those scouts participating in metalwork, welding, and Cripple Creek sessions for safety must bring long sleeve cotton shirts and a pair of jeans or non-synthetic pants to wear during the session for safety protocol. If you are looking for a Wednesday night meal, as we mentioned in previous webinars, our Wednesday night is family night here at camp. So a lot of the local units may have family come in. They do a potluck dinner in the campsite, or several units may order pizza or go into town for dinner on Wednesday evening. Should you not want to participate in any of those options, that is perfectly fine. We will provide a meal to you here from camp, and which will be delivered directly to your campsite. That is typically for our fried chicken, pasta salad, baked beans, and rolling some pound cake. So the way that process works is that Wesley will be heading that up this upcoming year, and at Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday leaders meetings, we'll be looking for those signups, and we have to have that information before the end of the leaders meeting on Tuesday on what you're doing. Should you want to go ahead and get on that list, send us an email to registration@ravennile.com. Let us know if how many people you need that meal for, and if you have any allergies, so that way we can keep it all squared away. Again, we talked about prerequisites. So please make sure if you already have that rolling, go ahead and get that form submitted. We started this process last year. We know it can kind of be a little bit much to work through, but it has made it a great deal easier to make sure that we on our end are doing the best we can at the end of the week to make sure there's a lot less complications on getting those prerequisites turned in. One of the options for Honor Merit Troop is to participate in our canned food drive. We do run a canned food drive supporting the Second Harvest Food Bank at Northwest North Carolina. And we will have turn-in boxes here at the administration building and the front porch of the log cabin. Should your unit want to participate that, we do look for 1 can donated per scout that you are bringing. We have had thousands and thousands of food donated over the year, and it has greatly supported our community. So we would like to ask if you want to continue with that, you're welcome to. If you're coming on the train or whatever it may be, we can run you in town, or you can just give us a donation that we'll pass off to our folks at Northwest North Carolina Food Bank. So we'll take care of them. The last thing I'm going to mention is probably the most important thing on my final reminders list is talking about harassment and bullying in camp. So we do ask that over the next few days prior to your arrival to camp, that you have a conversation with your youth and adults regarding harassment and bullying. It is to be noted that Camp Raven Knob does not tolerate harassment or bullying of any kind, and would really appreciate your assistance in mitigating these behaviors. Should you have any behaviors that you feel like need to be reported, please report that to camp management. Camp management is the folks sitting on this webinar right now, and we'll be happy to take care of that for you. A lot of times things can get passed on to a younger staff member, and while training and lots of training is done during staff week and prior to on chain of command and things like that, sometimes things fall through the cracks with reporting things. So I urge you, if you have any issues, to find one of the 4 of us, and we will make sure that we do everything we can to address any issue that we have. All right. So that's pretty much the gist of it on our webinar. Looks like we're getting done in a little under 19 minutes here. So I appreciate everyone coming to camp this summer. We are very excited. It is cool. It has been very cool here at camp the past few days. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, that is what our summer is going to look like. As you see, it's noon right now. I've got my sweatshirt on still, and it has been very cool the past few days here at camp. Beautiful, beautiful days. So hoping to keep that up. But again, if you need anything, reach out to us. We are here at camp. We do have our office staff, so you can start calling the camp office, which is the 336-352-4307 number, and you will get one of us here at the administration building. One thing to note, we do not have an answering machine here, okay? So if it just keeps ringing, that's what the deal is. Typically during mealtime, so average mealtime for us right now is around 8 to 9, and then noon to 1, and then after 5 o'clock. We're here a lot in the evenings, but it's very scarce in terms of like when we're here and what we're not. It's kind of random. So we spend, I don't know, more hours than we probably need to here and there in the evenings. But if you need us, call us, shoot us an email, text us, whatever we can do. Those of you that have my cell phone number have been calling it. My voicemail has changed. It says I'm at camp. If you're looking for a quicker response, call the camp office. So anyways, well, I think that's it. Josh, Wesley, Ash, you guys good? All right. Well, we'll see everybody pretty soon. Thank you for watching this, and holler if you need us. Thanks.